welcome back to Fast Family. Welcome back to the Fast and Furious in Review, and welcome back to Project Potter, guys. My name is Kyle, your host. If you haven't seen the show before, guys, we don't have friends, we have family. This is the 9th movie in the series. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. If you haven't seen the show before, guys, recap, which is what we call a quarter minute at a time, kind of going over the movie. This is the bulk of the episode here, if you guys have seen before. Then we have the 10-second car, which is my favorite actor or actress. They Never Had Me, which is my least favorite, score out of 10, and of course the rankings. So we got Master Chief on a dope-ass bike. Guys, this movie is already better than I remember it being. Idris Elba uses his Heimdall eyes. Did I mention he can also punch through trucks? I don't want to spoil anything, even though you're watching this review. Hopefully already have seen the movie, but maybe you're just coming for my charming personality. I'm what you might call a champagne papa. That was a terrible impression. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm definitely not going to cut that out. And then we find out that Hobbs has a brother, because that's what this franchise does. They're just like, hey, here's a sibling. And you're like, okay. Ryan Reynolds is in this movie? Dan, are all spies that pretty? Oh, she is unusually attractive. I was like, yeah, she is. Remember when I told you in Rwanda, what, that it's still burning? We will pick out humanity's flaws and replace them with mechanical perfection. iRobot vibes for sure right now. If she moves, shoot her in the face. Nope, you can't do that. I want you to put 2 bullets in her face. Can't shoot me, he'll go to prison. Shoot her 2 times, right in that face. I gotta go, but also, and he does the eyebrow raise, dude, and it's so good. So Shaw bursts in and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, get your dirty sausage fingers off her. He's like, that's my sister. We get an office standoff, dude. Everyone is gonna die because she goes, I am the virus. And she holds her hand up and she's got the 3 injection marks there, and they're like, oh, shit. I thought that was just like herpes. It's only been 35 minutes of this movie, dude, and this movie is all gas and no brakes. We find out that they control the media too, so they're a shady organization. They have plenty of money and plenty of influence, and this is how they kind of stay under the radar, because they control the news networks, which is very relevant to today and scary. Show them the price of refusal, or I will show it to you. Well, you let us tell you what's impossible, mate. Come for the review, stay for the awful impressions, guys. I'm Franz Gruber, ski instructor and avid mountain climber. Mike Oxmall. I go by Michael. Brixton is talking to Shaw and asks him if he remembers the good old days because they used to work on MI6 together. Look at me now. He's like, I'm Black Superman. Then we get the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Brixton is running, and as he's running, dude, his bike is coming up and it fucking like goes around him and forms so that he literally is running full speed, and it like morphs around him basically, so he gets on it. Samoa, baby. Going to Samoa. Now I just want to watch Moana, because not only is The Rock in that, but it just had the same vibe and very fun and festive. So not the size of the dog, it's the size of the fighting the dog. And then Hobbs says, oh, it's always the size of the dog. We have a virus. He's like, it's gonna go global and kill everyone if you don't fix this machine. If you were mad at your brother, right, and your brother came to you and said, look, we were framed for that, so don't believe the news. By the way, there's this virus that's gonna fucking kill everyone soon in 40 hours or whatever, unless you fix this machine. You wouldn't be like, I'd rather just die. Somehow they find out that they're in Samoa, or should I say somehow. I'm not such a dick in this movie. I almost forgot that Shaw killed Han, and then I remembered, and I was like, still, I can't forgive you for that. Brixton shows up, and he's like, all right, light him up. They all go to fire their guns, and Hattie's hack works because their guns all go offline. Brixton turns to the guy and he says, how long before the guns are back on? And it's so funny because the guy next to him goes, no idea. He's almost like, dude, how the fuck would I know that? This has never happened before. Hattie's wearing the machine on her backpack, so the timer is showing, which is great, except she should be, you think she'd like hide somewhere instead of just being in battle and like possibly damaging the machine that they just went through great lengths to get resolved. That's like the big thing in Fast and Furious, if you guys haven't noticed, where it's like big planes or whatever trying to take off and cars just hooking to them and being like, no, you stay on the ground. Chopper slowly coming down, crashes into what almost looks like a cave, but it's just like lower down there, and it's pouring rain. Everyone survives the chopper crash. Someone takes the punch, the other person hits them. It's a funny concept. The extraction does finish, though. She gets the little virus vial. Brixton says, one life means nothing to the cause. Brother, you may believe in machines, but we believe in people. And then the director creepily speaks into them through like the chopper speakers. Brixton never lived up to expectations. He's like, but you guys have all outperformed your analytics. And he's like, you don't remember me, do you, Hobbs? He's like, well, it's going to be a hell of a reunion. And like walking back, and then the movie just like ends, but then not really, because they do that stupid thing where the credits are rolling, but then there's like additional scenes going through, like important scenes, and I'm like, don't do that shit. Just finish your movie and then do your credits. I hate when directors put in like credits start rolling, and then there's like important scenes or dialogue that's going, and it's like, if you have a blooper reel in your credits, that's cool. But when you have like important things that are going on, just fucking tell the story and then start the credits after. I don't understand. I'll be seeing you, Hobbs. And then he says, looking forward to it, Shaw. This is how the movie actually ends. So 10-second car, guys. I'm going to go with Hattie Shaw, played by Vanessa Kirby. Guys, this movie is called Hobbs and Shaw, but it's not for Deckard Shaw. It's for Hattie Shaw, dude. What a fucking twist that was. She's just the rock star of this movie, dude. She's, as the rock states on the plane, she's capable, she's badass, she's never afraid of the moment, she's charming, she's sexy, she's beautiful. For a character that we just met, she fits right into the Fast and the Furious universe. The Shaws are awesome. The Shaws don't die, as we find out. If they didn't kill Han, I would have had them as my favorite family, but the Shaws are fun as shit. She's really amazing from start to finish. I mean, I don't know what else to say. She is everything that I hoped Cypher would have been, although Cypher was playing in Fast 8. Cypher was playing the villain, she was playing the heroine, so I get it, but that strong like heroine role where when Cypher was doing it, I thought she sucked and she was pushing it and she was forcing it. Everything that Hattie did, she was awesome. I thought she was definitely Shaw, dude. She looks kind of like Statham too, in like a really sexy, attractive way. Maybe I'm just attracted to Jason Statham. I don't know what that says about me. It's true because they kind of do look like siblings, but also she's super hot. So she was an awesome heroine, dude. Amazing, incredible job. I really, really hope we see more of her, but she stole the show for me, and I thought she was funny. I thought her chemistry with The Rock was good. She had a brotherly kind of love for Deckard, and she wasn't afraid of any of the bad guys, and she was willing to, she thinks on her feet and takes the virus knowing that she can't let it get into the hands of Brixton, and then she's never really afraid of him. And yeah, she was just awesome, and she gets my 10-second car for this week. You want to know who never had me for this week? It is got to be the director, who is, I guess, uncredited, or like the director is, they're still deciding. I went to Google this because I was like, who voices the director? And the writers and the director said like they're still deciding because they're not sure like where the franchise wants to go. I think Ryan Reynolds technically did the voice for this one, but it was all like animatronic or whatever, or auto-tuned or whatever, so like it doesn't really matter who did it. This just feels like a Wizard of Oz type of thing where there's like a man behind the curtain for me. The idea of the director is cool, but like we just got a voice in the wall, and I was like, is this an AI? Is this someone bigger? Like like why is the director important? I was like, is this a sentient AI? If it is like a Jarvis or an Ultron, that would be cool. This just feels more like a coward hiding behind technology, honestly, having others do their dirty work. I just wasn't really feeling the director. Maybe this is Cypher because she escaped in Fast 8. I mean, that would kind of make sense. That would be kind of dumb if they did that. But yeah, they don't know and they don't credit it. So I know they're like a shadow organization, but there weren't many poor performances in this movie. So it was actually pretty hard to pick. I was going to maybe say the professor too, but he did have his little redemption where he refused to stand up. Excuse me. He refused to work with Brixton and just reprogram it. Although I guess he was kind of forced to at the end, but it worked out. But then he came back with the flamethrower. I think Hobbs. Wow, my brain is just melting at the end of this thing. I think Brixton snaps his neck in the fight. I think it was like a quick thing where I was like, he had like his moment and then he just died. And I was like, oh. But I didn't really see it quickly. I saw it quickly, I didn't really rewind it. But yeah, the director, I gotta say, guys, even though it's like a cool idea, that villain behind the mystery of the villain, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it just kind of fell short for me. So the director never had me. Okay, guys, that brings us to the score for this one. And guys, I'm gonna blow your socks off by telling you that this movie is a 9.5. That's right, guys, this movie fucking rocks. Looking back, dude, and really thinking critically, like I said, the first time I watched this movie on my own, probably in 2019 when it came out, I don't know what was going on in my head. I like went in going like, this is probably going to kind of suck, but Furious 7 and Fate of the Furious were mostly so bad, besides the amazing tribute in Furious 7, to me, that I was just like, ugh. I was like, the bar is so low, and it's like, hopefully it's just not the worst one. And then I was watching this, and I was like, wow, this movie is fucking awesome. A few things that stick out to me here, guys. I found a hard time finding flaws with this movie. Like I said, there was a couple of points that I brought up there, but for the most part, it's like very clean cut. It's got some of the coolest action sequences in the franchise, dude. I think all the bike shit where Brixton is running and the bike morphs around him, amazing, dude. It's like Transformers, but they didn't make it like you don't know what's going on like Transformers. It's like they just did a subtleness. The drifting underneath, dude. really, really cool. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that cool ass bike scene that Brixton rides, dude. The dialogue is much better than in past movies, especially with Hobbs and Shaw, and I know it was centered around them, so it had to have been better or it would have been a bomb, but I just thought it was well written and funnier, and I think this is the closest we've gotten to Fast Five in terms of humor, action, stakes, overall movie quality. I think 5 was the peak, like I've mentioned, but this is as close as we get, where this is really, really just a great quality product. Like high quality. One thing I would have liked more maybe is 1 or 2 more main characters, just to add a little more diversity. There are times in this movie where I was like, when you have Fast Five where you have all the different pieces. In this one, it was very much Hobbs, Shaw, Idris Elba, and then of course Hattie is the other Shaw, which is great because those characters are really good. But if you don't like Hobbs or Shaw, then I can see you being like, okay, well, half of the characters in this movie I don't like, and that's, you know, that's a huge portion. So I can understand why some people wouldn't like that, but honestly, dude, everyone was well written. The acting was very good. It was genuinely very funny. There's great animosity between The Rock and Jason Statham, which was great. A few of my gripes, you know, I wish we got a little more background on the Owen Shaw death that apparently was like a one-liner. I was like, he's like, forced to kill my own brother. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Can we talk about this, dude? Like, what's going on there? I wish we got a little bit more on Brixton and why he turned, why he survived, or like how he survived, why he was working with Deckard in the past and then he decided to like go rogue or flip or whatever. I wish there were 1 or 2 more like fire songs or transitions, but that's just me nitpicking here. Yeah, this is the strongest plot of the entire franchise, guys, by far. Frighteningly enough, it hits home because of COVID too, with the virus thing. Brixton is by far the most fucking badass villain in the franchise. He didn't get decommissioned and thrown into the ocean because that is like they brought Owen Shaw back and like redeemed him in the last movie. Idris Elba is such a strong actor, such a power, like such a force, and he was so good in this movie that I would love. I mean, he's mostly machine, so like, if anyone can come back and they can make it believable, if they can just be like, oh, we just turned him back on or whatever. I hope he comes back, but he was fucking awesome and just easily one of the best parts of this movie. This movie just had so much packed into its 2-hour runtime. Like I said, all gas, no brakes, dude. Very, very polished. I was just really pleased with it, dude, and I think Fast fans should be really excited for the future because this is proof that a non-main title can work. It doesn't have to be Fast 1, Fast 2, Fast 3, Fast 4. It can be Fast 1, Fast 2, side well-written story, Fast 4, side well-written story, Fast 5. You know what I mean? Like, they can mix it in there. So I think fans should be really excited, and I had an absolute blast with this movie. Okay, guys, that brings us to the rankings here. This is going to go high up there. We're going to start with number 1 here, which is Fast 5, guys. Get a 9.8. It did not dethrone Fast 5. But if you can tell by the score already that I had, guys, if you've been watching these reviews already, this one slots in at number 2, dude, which surprised the hell out of me. I was like, maybe this goes at 7. I was like, this just won't be 8 or 9. Dude, I was like 30 minutes in. I mean, this one took me the longest out of any of the reviews I've done so far. I took hours and hours of notes where I was like pausing and playing and rewinding and like going back, oh, that's a great line. I went down and I was like laughing at stuff, and I just had so much fun watching this movie, and I was really, really impressed and surprised at just how great it was, because like I said, it wasn't crazy about the first time, but I think I kind of just threw it on and maybe I was having a bad day or something. But having experienced the torture of a couple of the last movies, I don't want to say torture, these movies are still fun even at their worst. I mean, the lowest score I have is a 6.7 right now for Fate of Furious. So this franchise is so special, and I think this is a reminder of that and how you can tell a different story. Like I mentioned Rogue One earlier. Rogue One is so different and feels so different, where it feels like a war movie, but it still fits in that universe, and it obviously makes like A New Hope. If you haven't seen Rogue One, dude, go watch it. It makes A New Hope better. I don't know if this makes any other films better, but it stays kind of in that universe. And for a lot of this movie, it didn't really feel like a Fast and Furious movie. There wasn't a whole bunch of cars or racing or anything like that. We get one little bit of NOS where they call it the moonshine, which is a nice touch there. But I think it's still, we've seen these characters enough in this world where, and then we got the names of Shaw and seeing The Rock and Statham together. I think it was like, okay, I can still see it's in that universe. So with all that being said, guys, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. It slots in at number 2 with a 9.5 for me. Number 3 is Tokyo Drift with an 8.6. Number 4 is Too Fast, Too Furious with an 8.2. Number 5 is Fast and Furious 6 and an 8.1. Number 6 is Fast and Furious at 7.9. Number 7 is The Fast and the Furious, the original one, at 7.8. Number 8 is Furious 7 at 7.5. And then rounding out number 9, guys, is The Fate of the Furious at a 6.7. And so that is how our rankings shape up through 9 movies. Okay, guys, that's it. That's another episode of Fast Family. That was a fun one. Thank you so much for checking out Fast Family. Thanks for checking out Project Potter. Please go check out the other content on the channel. You guys have heard me say it a million times. Like, comment, subscribe. You already know. It really helps me out, guys. Appreciate the kind words. Appreciate the support. All we have left now, guys, is Fast 9. I have not seen Fast 9 at all. Until next time, guys, just remember, we don't have friends, we have family. And until next time, guys, salute me familia.